Delegation is taken to Manila City Hall for a first conference with the Allies to make arrangements for the American occupation of the Japanese mainland. Cameras flock to the scene, but no one gets closer than William Courtney. The Deputy Chief of Staff of the Japanese Imperial Army, Lieutenant General Kawabe, is first out of the car. He finds himself surrounded by giants.
One of General MacArthur's touches was to line the approach to the City Hall with army guards, each man at least 6 foot 2 inches tall.
The conference in which arrangements for the occupation of Japan are made. The entrance of the Japanese. They're told that American airborne troops will land in the Tokyo area. The beginning of the occupation of Japan.
General MacArthur has deliberately stayed away from the Manila Conference, choosing to wait and come face to face with his conquered enemy on Japanese soil. He flies into Okinawa on August 29, 1945, in his own gleaming C-54 Skymaster Bataan. This is the crowning achievement of the 65-year-old conqueror's career. The next day, Courtney and the other war correspondents make the historic flight from Okinawa to the Japanese mainland. Some 15,000 men of the battle-tested 11th Airborne Division accompany them on their 1,000-mile journey. Each aircraft carries 44 fully armed infantrymen.
So MacArthur had over 350 aircraft.
The Americans are taking no chances. By 8 a.m., the coastline of Japan comes into view on a hazy summer day.
You may imagine the feelings of all of us, especially those of us who had been with General MacArthur on the long march from Melbourne to Manila and up to Tokyo, to feel that here at last was journey's end.
When Courtney and the other correspondents land at Atsugi Airfield, the first thing they see is a group of Mitsubishi Raider fighters with their propellers removed. MacArthur has ordered this at the Manila Conference to minimize the risk of suicide attempts by Japanese pilots. The 11th Airborne Division triumphantly raises the Stars and Stripes for the first time on the Japanese mainland. Courtney is one of the first journalists to get behind-the-scenes images of American prisoners of war on their way home. Many of these men have broken out of prison camps and tramped through the countryside to reach American forces. Within 24 hours, the POWs will be back on U.S. soil. The conquering troops prepare for their victorious entrance into the Japanese mainland with some trepidation. In Okinawa, civilians have thrown themselves from cliffs rather than submit to the dishonor of surrender. Will the same happen here? Along the route to Yokohama, they see hundreds of Japanese sentries lining both sides of the dusty road.
Their backs were turned towards the American soldiers, who thought this was a deliberate insult. Actually, it was Japan's idea of the highest compliment. They felt they were not worthy to look their conquerors in the face.
The victors are impressed, if not shocked, by the mile after mile of urban devastation that they encounter.
We should carpet bomb ISIS.
Carpet bombing, some services seem untouched.
When we entered Yokohama, we were surprised to still see the trains running past, when all around is desolation. Half the city is destroyed.
The defeated nation comes face to face with their conquerors on the USS Missouri at the surrender ceremony on September 2nd, 1945. Tokyo Bay is clogged with hundreds of powerful gleaming American fighting ships. The ceremony is due to start at 9 a.m. The delegates and press crowd onto the open deck. As a friend of MacArthur, Courtney gets special access to film the historic signing from a prime position on the number 2 gun turret far above the press pack. At 8:55 a.m., the Japanese delegation reaches the Missouri.
And a gasp of surprise swept down the ship as the Japanese Foreign Office officials headed by Shigemitsu, the foreign minister, arrived, wearing top hats and full morning coat, formal dress with striped pants.
A Japanese delegate, Toshikazu Kaze, later writes,
Never had I realized the glance of glaring eyes could hurt so much. We waited, standing in the public gate, like penitent boys awaiting the dreaded schoolmaster.
one man is missing, Emperor Hirohito, who takes no part in the proceedings. MacArthur has other plans for him. Finally, General MacArthur makes his entrance with Fleet Admiral Chester Nimitz and Admiral William Halsey.
If my aim is true, and indeed the hope of all mankind, that from this solemn occasion, a better world shall emerge out of the blood and carnage of the past. A world founded upon faith and understanding. A world dedicated to the dignity of man and the fulfillment of his most cherished wish for freedom, tolerance, and justice.
Obviously,
Signing of the surrender signals the official end
Islams have
of
other
savage conflict.
ideas.
Mamoru Shigemitsu signs, representing the Imperial Japanese government. Then General Yoshijiro Umetsu on behalf of the Imperial Armed Forces. After the Japanese, it's MacArthur's turn. Looking over his left shoulder is a symbol of the war's toll. Lieutenant General Skinny Wainwright, emaciated from 3.5 years as a prisoner of war. Then come the representatives of 9 other Allied powers. As the Japanese are led away, the victors put on one final display of triumph. 1,500 planes, Boeing Superfortresses, and Navy fighters roar across the sky.
1,500 bombers and fighters.
Somebody was pulling a curtain over the sky. That's how many planes there were. It was so overwhelming that we all fell down on our knees, some praying and crying. That was one time. I'll never forget that.
Well, thanks